Okay, I'm getting ready to make dinner before we go skating tonight. And so I'm kind of being lazy. I got some frozen seafood here. I'm making, what do we got here? It is the tomato garlic marinated mussels. Um, they're real inexpensive. And obviously, I never leave anything the way it comes. So I'm making a spruced up pan sauce and using the flavor profile that's already in the frozen mussels to guide that. But for the vegans in the house, I'm taking those fresh diced tomatoes and stewed tomatoes that I made, and some garlic and spinach and basil over here and onions. And I'm going to make up kind of a similar flavor profile to what's already in the mushrooms in a separate pan. And that's going to all go over linguine, obviously the vegan version and the pescatarian version, or I guess you could say meat eater version. So this is what happens in a home when you got separate diets and you're cooking for everybody. I find ways to flavor profile so everybody's eating similarly the same dinner. I'll show you more in a little bit. Okay, so I got the onions going here. This is good. And like I said, this is one of my lazy dinners, so I've got this minced garlic. Just gonna go, and I'm putting a good amount in there because I want a lot of flavor. And I'm doing this with fish, so for me, at least, the garlic with the tomato and all as well. Just turn the heat down. Okay. See, I'm doing good. Just get those caramelized, starting to cook and brown a little bit. You don't want to burn your garlic. Be real careful. Then the tomatoes are going in next. Okay, now I added my diced tomatoes. I make those and keep them in the fridge. And they've got like Italian herbs and garlic and stuff like that in them already. Now I'm going to bring these up and start to cook the flavors of the onion and garlic together. And I'll be adding a little more yum yum. But there's where we're at so far. I don't like that skin. I hate it when a skin gets in there. This is basil. That'll go in late, but I'm going to start to wilt this spinach in there. This is for my vegans up here in the front. Okay, now I'm going to be adding a good shake of just basic Italian seasoning mix. I'm going to say about, I don't know, a teaspoon. Then a couple of good shakes of garlic pepper. Okay, and I'm going to add that back there too. And then finish it off with, sorry guys, a little garlic salt. Just to taste, really. My family likes seasoning. So, put that down. You can see the spinach starting to wilt in that real good. Okay, got my pasta water over here. That's about to go on high. It's salted with sea salt. This is going to go back here. Let's get this moving. And we forgot the Italian herb in this one. So let's just get a little. This one on the back burner is going to get these yummy mussels, which the boxed mussels and frozen mussels is what kind of inspired the whole night's dinner, the flavor profile. So there's that going. Now we just let it cook for a while and wait for the pasta water to come up. Alright guys, we're here. We're on like a medium heat. You see how the juice of the tomatoes is starting to reduce. In the vegan one, same thing back here, like there's still a little juice, but not a lot. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to add just a little bit the vegetable broth. All right, just a little bit. I mean, like a quarter cup at max. Just enough to give them a little more zhuzh to steep and flavor them up while they cook down a little bit longer while your pasta water comes up. Okay, guys, it's time to add the basil. This was fresh basil, just so you know. Like, my refrigerator is a mess, but I use these. It's fresh basil, and I chop it down because I cannot grow herbs, no matter how hard I try. So, we're going to put the lion's share of it here in the vegan. All right, and then we're going to throw some of that fresh basil in the back one. There we go. And then this is fresh chive. All right, and I love it. It just gives everything a yummy flavor. It's a weird add-in, but it's one of my favorites. And a little bit goes into each pot, so we have shared the flavor profile. All right, let's get the last, good to the last drop of it all, right into that little pot there. All right, give it a zhuzh. Okay, I'll be right back. My pasta water's starting to boil, so that means it's time for the mussels to go in. Okay, so once I add my frozen mussels and sauce to my pan over there, they have to cook for about 3 minutes. The pasta has to cook for about 11 minutes, so I set my timer for 8. When the timer goes off, my seafood goes in. Be back with some final results. Okay, guys, I forgot to mention, you're going to reserve about a half a cup of the pasta water. That's going to thicken your sauce over your pasta. It makes it yummy. Also, while your pasta's cooking, you're going to reduce this down to low so it can kind of just simmer and get yummy. Okay, guys, my pasta is at its last minute of my first timer. So what I'm going to do is I take these mussels and I'm just going to add them to this pan. That's right. So easy, so lazy. All right, then we're going to throw this in the trash over here. Sorry about the mess, guys. All right. And then we're going to take my little spoon here. And let's get, oh, don't want the linguine yet. That's not ready. Ah, hot stuff. Okay, sorry. Slotted spoon in a pasta pot. Not a smart girl. Never claimed to be intelligent, just, okay. Now we're going to bring the heat up on this to like a medium and just toss those in. And you'll see like the juice, and it's got like all the fish sauces and broths in there. And those are going to melt down for 3 minutes while the pasta finishes. We're going to put a lid on that one in the back while that comes up to heat. Wrong lid, but it'll work. And I'll be back in a few minutes. And also, if this one, this is the vegetarian, if it starts to reduce, don't get afraid, because once you add the pasta water, it's just going to add so much sauce and yumminess, and you want it to be kind of jammy, so it like really sticks to the pasta. Okay, guys, it's almost time to drain the pasta. So like I said earlier, we're going to reserve some of this pasta water. I like to get about a half a cup. Maybe a little more, because I do have 2 pots. There we go. And I'm going to set that aside because that's going to create the starch that I need to make everything stick together. All right. Okay, guys, there's the beeper on the pasta. I keep the wooden spoon over there because it keeps it from boiling over. We're going to turn the heat off. And I'm going to drain it over here and return it to the pan. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I added the pasta and a little bit of the pasta water here is the vegetarian pasta, good to go and ready to go, and I'm about to add pasta to that. Be back in a minute. Okay, guys, and now the mussels have been added to the, or should I say the pasta has been added to the mussels over here in this one. And that's going to get sprinkled with a little bit of fresh parsley, a little Parmesan cheese, boom, not powdered, shredded Parmesan. Oh my God, please buy Parmesan and just use a grater. But that's dinner tonight. When you have a house that you have to cook for meat eaters and vegans, there's what you get. Cooking for the family.